Ciao.
Go to cassette, just $7.99.
Have a Merry Christmas from K-Tel. Available from Grace.
I know of, although closest thing. When I was younger, like I was in 5th grade, I played violin for 4 tragic years before I was in choir, and we were recorded for a local television station, and like they brought us in. There was a Saturday morning kids show, but they brought us in on a Thursday night to record our little orchestra, scratching out probably "Hark the Herald Angels Sing" and 3 or 4 other songs.
Right.
What I remember about it, aside from the television lights being incredibly bright and blinding to me and annoying, was that literally Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was on at the same time, and it was the station that played it, and so there were monitors, and I was like trying to swivel my head around and watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer instead of playing the violin.
Is so incredibly bogus to invite kids who would be of an age to watch Rudolph into the place where they're showing Rudolph but not letting you watch it.
It's just not right.
Because it's not like today where you can just $1.99, I can get Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or rent it anyway.
It's over now.
I'm guessing, no offense, but I know you're roughly your age, my age. When I was that young, we didn't have a VCR. No. So you couldn't record it. Ah, man, that's just... this is a sad, sad Christmas story that I'm hearing right here. All right, so I don't know if this is a reward. I don't know if this is a punishment, although I will tell you, you talked about the fact that Tom Merritt kicked one of your songs off your Christmas list. You kicked one of mine. So I had said yesterday that we would wrap up today with my Christmas list, or Christmas music songs, excuse me, and then realized I didn't have anybody to ask me about them. So Shelley Brisbane is back with us, and she very kindly is going to ask me about my Christmas songs.
I do want to hear what your songs are, especially now that I know that you have been kicked off by one of mine, because you didn't, and you were smart to do it. You didn't send me your list and say, well, don't pick these. You gave me guest's choice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And so I also know you to be a person of good and varied musical taste. So I'm really curious. So tell us about your first song.
It's interesting you say that, actually, because you kind of helped me by kicking off the one that I did. We'll come to what that was later. My first song is Someday at Christmas by Stevie Wonder.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know.
That's a good choice.
It's not one of the traditional ones. I mean, certainly it's traditional now because he recorded it, 1.5 million years ago in internet time. There's just something about it, though, that, it sort of encapsulates not the, chestnuts roasting on the open fire, or, it's going to be a white Christmas, or I'm going to get lots of stuff. It is the hope of the kind of thing that theoretically we would want Christmas to be. An end to war, basically, and an end to being dumb. And, he acknowledges the fact that we might not get it today. We might not even get it in our lifetimes, but his hope is that that's the kind of thing we're going to have at some point. And, if that's not what Christmas is, then what is it?
What better time to hope?
Exactly.
Whether it's, and that's not a song that, I don't know other versions of it besides his. There may very well be, but it seems like that song really belongs to him.
Yeah, I would imagine somebody's re-recorded it, because once you do a Christmas song, everybody re-records it at some point. But yeah, that's the one I know, and that's the one that does it for me.
All right, well, tell us about song number 2.
Pretty Paper by Willie Nelson.
Oh, interesting.
You talked about the fact that the Emmylou Harris song that you picked, she just is sort of like there, and you like the instrumentation and such. I read a review of the Christmas album that Willie Nelson did in 1979. I just read it on Apple Music. I didn't do a lot of research or anything. I knew I wanted to pick Pretty Paper, but while I was listening to that song, one of the things that they said in this review of the album was it's not a traditional Christmas album in that he didn't hire a big band. He didn't do anything really different as far as the instrumentation. It was like playing with the family. So, there's a little piano, there's his guitar, there's somebody on the harmonica. It's just a standard band, and it's just him singing what he's singing. I also, not to be maudlin about it, it's both a beautiful and sad song. It's told from the point of view of people who are rushing about to do their Christmas stuff. And also there's a homeless guy that we're acknowledging, but also kind of ignoring in a way. It's both beautiful and sad. And plus, I'm a huge Willie Nelson fan. So what can I do?
It's a very nice song. It's been a long time since I've heard it. Again, like it seems like you're picking songs that are so far that are very closely connected to the people that either wrote. I don't know if Willie wrote that song. Very good chance he did.
I don't know off the top of my head. For some reason, I have it in my head that he did. But my assumption is he, if Taylor Swift didn't write it, then Willie Nelson did.
In 1979.
Well, no, I mean they're the two songwriters, I think. Well, there's also Lieber and Stoller, and there are a few other people. Elton John.
Okay.
Like maybe 10 songwriters total, I think.
If I was going to think of a country songwriter, sorry, I'm being a nerd about it. If I was going to think of somebody who wrote a country song in 1979, I might go deep and go Harlan Howard or something. But Willie Nelson, he's written his share of songs as well.
He has written The Storyteller, of course, which is not a Christmas album, but the VH1 Storytellers series that he did with he did an episode of it with Johnny Cash. That was just amazing when he's talking about
great.
Why he wrote the stuff he wrote. So yeah, big fan.
Tremendous. All right. Well, what is your third choice?
Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin'.
Love it.
Yeah, by Albert King. I don't know that I'm particular about any version of that. I only found that song when it's weird because I found two songs through the Very Merry Christmas. Fairy Tale of New York, which is not on my list, and Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin'. And it was hilarious because if you haven't seen The Very Merry Christmas on Netflix, it's Bill Murray walking around singing singing the song, except George Clooney keeps sticking his head out from behind a tree, singing the Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin' part. And again, I'm not trying to be all depressing or whatever, but I love the idea of, we're going to the North Pole or we're all on a Christmas train or all that stuff. That sounds like fun. I kind of like the songs that evoke something that are also about real people. Because if you don't know Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin', it's pretty much what you think it is. It's a guy who's like, hey, wife, let's go do men and wifely things before the kids wake up, right? And there's something, because he's singing in the middle of it about he's trying to put together a bicycle because it is Christmas Eve. But at the same time, I don't know. Honestly, if you hadn't kicked the song off that you kicked off, that song probably would have come off because I wasn't sure it was appropriate. And yet it is a song that I thoroughly enjoy at Christmas time.
I like how songwriterly you've taken this because I have mixed relationship with Christmas music. I'm not somebody that plays it for a month. I started playing it frankly earlier than I would have because of your prompt to say, hey, come and pick some songs. I would have played it Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, but I've been listening to Christmas music most of the day, which is chilling me out because I've had some technical stuff going on in my world as well. But I have a mixed relationship with sort of the unambiguously happy sort of North Poles, shine, Christmas, hey, gifts, things, those kinds of songs. And in my list, I picked some that are more in that vein, but I think my natural tendency is to sort of lean in on like one individual person's story or a story about something about the greater, what does all this mean? This Christmas thing that we do, what does it mean to individuals, or what could it mean to a world that wants to talk about peace on earth and goodwill to men and all that great stuff? Yeah, and also what men and women, what people do together when they love each other.
Right. Well, honestly, I kind of, and I this is weird to me. I see sort of Pretty Paper and Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin' as being similar songs. There's this greater thing that's going on, and it's Christmas, and it has all these demands, and there's all this stuff that we do to sort of like, step up to that bar. And at the same time, there's real life. There is all the rushing around, and that can be kind of annoying sometimes. And there is the stuff you have to put together, and that can be kind of annoying sometimes. And then there are real relationships with everything from, people who need help, who were sort of looking the other way because seriously, I got my own life to live, to, you and I are running around doing all this stuff for these kids. What are we doing for us?
Right.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Well, tell me about song number 4.
Song number 4 is just fun. It's Elf's Lament by Barenaked Ladies. Do you know this song?
I don't know the song. It's funny, though, because somewhere when I was digging through all my Christmas albums, I found something called A Barenaked Christmas or something like that. And I was like, that's probably interesting. I don't have time to listen to it now, so tell me about your song.
Barenaked for the Holidays, I think, is probably what you found.
That's it.
Yeah.
Barenaked for the Holidays.
And it's interesting. It's got a couple of Hanukkah songs on it that I thoroughly enjoy. I don't know anything about Hanukkah, but I like the songs. I like their songs. I like their instrumentation. I mean, I like them outside of the Christmas stuff. They have some stuff that's kind of funny on it. In fact, the song that you kicked off was Carol of the Bells, also by Barenaked Ladies, because that was going to bring us back to that was going to bring us back to the end. Now, I don't know where you seem to sort of be a connoisseur of that song. I don't know that you would like it. I enjoy it because it's one of the only versions of Carol of the Bells that I actually know. I mean, I sort of got the impression from what you said that you like the music and it almost doesn't matter who like performs that piece as long as they're decent. Is that fair?
Pretty much. Yeah, they have to not suck. That's kind of important. But
So, I mean, this is Barenaked Ladies doing Carol of the Bells, and they're doing it sort of traditional, but they're still a rock band. So they're not doing it in a rockin' way, but they're playing with the instruments that they have. They didn't hire, a chorus. They didn't hire a bunch of people with a bunch of bells. They didn't, it's still them. I mean, part of it they're actually doing with their voices. I don't know that it's the best version. Hey, you know what? You know what I just realized? It's not even on the list, so why am I talking about it? It got kicked off. Elf's Lament is basically elves complaining because it's been thousands of years of just making toys and they don't know what they're doing with their lives. And so they've decided to unionize. And they're going to go tell Santa what's what.
It's a tremendous amount amongst the elves. That's great.
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount of fun. It's really poppy and cute. Michael Bublé, I think, joined them for that song. I believe that's who it is. And so it's just a lot of fun. It's a fun... I like Christmas songs with a genuine sense of humor, not just stuff that's supposed to be funny. Mm-hmm. And that one has a tremendous sense of humor. And yet, like almost every song, actually come to think of it, like every song that I've chosen, there is just a tinge of sadness, except in Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin'. There's no sadness in that song. Everything else, there's a tinge of sadness, which there actually is in the in Elf's Lament as well, but it manages to be an incredible amount of fun.
Well, I will be listening to Elf's Lament and perhaps the rest of Barenaked for the Holidays because apparently I have a copy for some reason.
Far out. Well, you work in a radio station, don't you? Did somebody just like hand it to you one day and you're like, oh.
There is that. No, I actually think it was because, I had a dear friend that gifted me a lot of music at one point in my life, so much that I never quite processed all of it.
Gotcha.
And so he was a big Barenaked Ladies fan. He's the kind of guy who likes Barenaked Ladies, Madonna, David Bowie, the old 97s. I mean, just a variety of very good music. So,
yeah, I'm actually with him for most of that. So that's kind of cool.
So tell me about your last song.
Last song is just, again, I really can't get away from the sad stuff. I don't know why. It's Christmas Auld Lang Syne by Bobby Darin.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And I mean, Auld Lang Syne is just always kind of it's sad, but also hopeful, and Christmas Auld Lang Syne is one that I just came to know a few years ago. And I can't even say what it is exactly about that song that gets to me, but I think it's beautiful. I think it's hopeful. And honestly, I mean, I did sort of arrange how things would go. So it struck me as the perfect end to a Christmas album.
Very much so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I have heard that. I like it. I do sort of lean, especially when I'm in when I'm a less reflective, accepting mood of Christmas. I sort of lean toward, or Christmas music, I should say. I lean toward. Let's have some cocktail party music. There's an Apple Music playlist called Cocktails for Christmas. I'm all about that, and I feel like Bobby Darin, if he isn't in there already, he should be in there.
Yeah, I don't think this one would be there, but yeah, I agree with that. And people should listen to that. I've actually listened to that. Is it a radio station or a playlist? I can't remember.
It's a playlist, I believe. Yeah, okay. It is a playlist.
Yeah, I've listened to that a few times. So what I suggest people do after they're done listening to our lists,
right?
Go play
Listen
that.
to those first. 15 songs. It's not going to take you that long, and you're going to love them.
I hope so anyway. Yeah, best place to find it, or best way to find it, go to Apple Music, search either for Ken Ray, and there'll be a few people there, so just look for the one that says @macOSKen, or cut out the middleman and just go @macOSKen, or no, just search for macOSKen, all one word, and you'll find all the playlists we've done, including this holiday playlist. And thank you, Shelley, for asking me to tell you about my music on my show.
My pleasure. That was so spontaneous.
I really appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. Merry New Year, Happy Christmas, all that good stuff.